Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots. And if you have the video version of this, you'll notice that I'm styling and profiling. What do you think of this jacket?
What is that?
The Ric Flair's robe jacket.
There's a Ric Flair robe jacket?
Yeah. Chalkline made it. Check it out.
Oh, okay. Now that I see the back, that makes more sense. In the front, it looked like one of those like Hangman Page butterfly cowboy shirts.
I mean, when it's not a robe, it's
Right
very
from the front, that's what it looks
yeah,
like.
it does. When you don't know it's his robe, it's like really honestly everything that Ric Flair wears, only Ric Flair can wear.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Like
Because
a
like
lot of
I
his
never
robes, you see other wrestlers wear robes, and it looks really bad on.
yeah.
Like I remember AJ Styles, he wore some Ric Flair robes in TNA. He looked terrible. There was this guy, I forgot his fucking name. He was in AWA. He was like supposed to be like a Ric Flair knockoff, and
Mhm.
he would wear robes, and it just looked really bad on him too. It's
I
like,
mean, so I wore this a few times to Caroline's. I got this in 2018, right? And
yeah.
I wore it a few times to Caroline's, and I remember like some comic said to me, you look like a drug dealer who only deals like in mushrooms or something." Like like it was like, "What is that jacket?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Ric Flair," and like you can't tell it's Ric Flair from the jacket.
No, not from the front. And it wasn't until I see the back and it says Nature Boy on it. But
Yeah,
yeah, it is what it
but
is. Yeah.
hey, I bought a bunch of these jackets. They're pretty comfy, but this is the one. If I could not have bought any of them, this would have been the one. It would have been like I probably should have
Yeah.
bought it.
But you could say that about a lot of people's looks. Like Macho Man is the only one who could
Yeah,
pull
you
off.
can. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also
And
having confidence. So the reason why we're
you know,
talking so much about Ric Flair is we just watched the Royal Rumble 1992. We're in the year 1992 on this journey. And this was Ric Flair's show. If there was ever a show that was dedicated to Ric Flair, it was this show. Do you
yeah.
agree?
Well, one match at least.
Yeah, I know, but
Um,
like this is also the definition of a one match show.
yeah. I wonder if that jacket would look better if you roll up the sleeves. Some jackets look better with the sleeves rolled up. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That might actually be better, yeah. Like Michael Jackson's red jacket in Thriller, sleeves
Mhm.
rolled up. You know what I'm talking about?
Michael Jackson should have wore this in Thriller.
Yeah, yeah. But you're
Uh,
absolutely right about the Royal Rumble. This is a one match show. This is a one match pay per view. Sorry, say it like that. One match
well,
pay per view.
I also like the Roddy Piper match. I feel that's a good moment for him. And if you're a fan of him,
Um, yeah. We'll get into all of them. Some are definitely most are definitely miss, but we're talking about probably, in my opinion, probably the greatest Royal Rumble of all time.
I would say that I think when we rewatch the other ones, we'll see. But I mean, in terms of storytelling and where it goes, yeah, I think this is the best one in terms of star power. I mean, because the thing about it is, I really do feel, and I feel every time I watch it more and more, I feel like it's tapping into like all of the stories that have gone on in all the territories throughout the years. This match, not just WWE.
This was the first Rumble that I actually like vividly remember like it being important, like the ending, right? I remember them
It's
showing
the
the
first
ending.
one with consequences.
Yeah, yeah. And the more this is like I guessing this is the third or fourth time I've seen this Royal Rumble match,
Mm-hmm.
and I will admit it's like timeless.
Yeah,
I no matter how many times I watch it, it's that fucking good, and I feel like I pick up something new every time I watch it. And
yeah,
I feel like this is like the first Rumble where they set the bar so high that the rest of the Rumbles will not have to be compared to this Rumble. You know? Like this
yeah.
is like
And
the
I think that's
standard
what they
bearer of what
always
like
are.
Royal
Yeah.
Rumbles need to be, you know? And there's still like some stuff that could be better, obviously, but I would say this will probably so from all the Rumbles we've seen so far and the ones I've seen afterwards that I know of, maybe my mind will change when I watch them again. But right now, I would say if somebody asked me what's the greatest Royal Rumble of all time, I would be like 1992. I'm gonna have to go
Yeah.
with this. You know,
I would agree. The match itself is fucking fantastic, and
fantastic. Yeah,
the way the story he does, I was thinking because we don't really have the internet, and Dave Meltzer didn't have a podcast back then. But I'm wondering if Dave Meltzer was basically saying to everybody that they're going to bury Ric Flair when he signed, because I feel like that would have been everyone's like opinion. Oh, Vince is going to bury this guy, like he's going to go nowhere. He's going to wind up becoming like Greg Valentine. I'm wondering if that's what they thought. Because I kind of feel like if you were a fan back then and you saw him enter number 3, like, oh, here we go. They're gonna make him look stupid. And then he wins. And I bet you so many people were shocked because they didn't think that was gonna happen.
I think that's possible. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah. I
possible.
think
Yeah.
people, I think like some old heads or like some, if you were like a big NWA guy, oh, they're gonna make, oh, here they go, they're gonna make this guy look like an idiot, and then
And to be fair, I think they have every reason to if they that's what they thought, they have every
yeah,
reason to believe that, because
yeah.
of like at the time WWE's track record was pretty bad with old NWA stars. We're talking
Yeah, look at
Harley
Harley
Race,
Race.
Dusty Rhodes, like I can see why you would think that, and I hope if that's what like someone like Meltzer was thinking, they were pleasantly surprised after it. I'm sure they were because it was fucking great,
I mean, the black and white magazines were like shocked that he actually won the belt.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're probably
And that he beat the record of her. Yeah, because it is like it's pretty shocking, like because he's not a WWF guy, he's not a Vince guy. There's
not.
nothing
Yeah,
about him that says Vince or WWF, and then he just
he
goes and outlasts all of them, everyone.
doesn't feel like a WWE guy even after winning, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that was key. I liked it. But let's talk about it. Royal Rumble 1992. Every man for himself, which should really be the tagline every year.
Yeah.
Um, January it takes place January 1992 in Albany, New York. 17,000 people are in attendance. We start off with a Vince McMahon Jr. introduction where he runs through all his action figures in that voice that we
Oh,
love.
so on my DVD, it's not Vince McMahon's me Gene Okerlund on the DVD.
Really?
Yeah. What
I
what they didn't want
wonder.
to pay Vince like money? Like I'm wondering why they took out Vince on the DVDs. Remember, there was another DVD where they didn't have his voiceover.
Do you think that was like when he was like going through this weirdness where he's like, take my voice out. I don't want to hear my voice, maybe? He
No,
started making weird changes as he
well,
got older.
maybe he said, well, I'd rather Mean Gene get like royalties off this DVD, but wouldn't he get a royalty off the DVD just because he's on like every fucking DVD, like the first 5
But he's
Rumbles?
already on this DVD.
Yeah, I don't. It's weird, but Mean Gene does the voiceovers,
It's so weird. I wonder, does that mean that they recorded it 2 times and they just kept one in their back pocket the whole time?
or maybe they had Mean Gene record like recent. Yeah, maybe they record different ones, and Vince will decide what he likes the night of.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
He has like Gorilla, he
Yeah.
has Mean Gene, Lord Alfred Hayes himself, and then they
Yeah.
just listen back.
If you watch it on Peacock, it's Junior doing his monster truck rally voice, and he's just going through all his action figures. I I love it though. By the way, I personally love it.
I I still think I know they don't have him doing anything. I think this year for the Rumble they should have him do the voiceover intro.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'll be. You know what? The man is evil, but he doesn't have that much time left. Might as well let him do this.
But
They
also
should
like it's
they should give him the Stanley thing where like
yeah,
every like major like PLE he does like a voiceover, like a cameo voiceover.
yeah,
You
I
know,
think that'd be fun. Yeah, I know, but people would
like
be like,
that.
it's like he's there already.
Yeah, until he dies. Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan, they welcome us to the arena and they run down the rest of the card. And we're gonna go right into our first match. It is Kato and Pat Tanaka, the Orient Express. They're back with Mr. Fuji versus Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Owen Hart, the new foundation. This is like the worst fucking gear. They wearing like that checkered, like taxi cab fucking bandanas, these parachute pants, multicolored. The colors don't match. Bobby the Brain Heenan calls them pajamas.
Yeah, he goes like, did they just wake up or something?
Yeah,
Or
it's like they're still their pajamas. Their gear
yeah,
is so bad. Like when you look at the gear, you're just like this. There's no chance for this
You know what's annoying? Like the only Jim Neidhart Hasbro figure was in this outfit. It
Yeah,
wasn't. It wasn't in his Heart Foundation outfit.
yeah. No, I remember the Hasbro with this fucking shitty gear.
Yeah.
I hate this gear. Yeah. Um. So in this match, it's very weird actually that that's the only Hasbro they have. But however, they released
There's Jackson
pictures of it
Mattel's with
later
him in the
on.
proper gear. Yeah, but that's.
Yeah, yeah, the proper
But
gear.
I like the Hasbro's, and it was annoying because then like I wanted the Heart Foundation team up again, but he's got this stupid outfit on, and it like doesn't match. So it's like demolition matches and the Rockers match and the Bushwhackers match, and then this idiot is in blue pants.
I wonder why they did that. It's so bad.
Probably
It's so
they probably were like we want it because then I think Owen leaves for a little bit again, then comes back, but they probably like we're gonna do a 2-pack, and then he left. They're like, well, we already have the Jim Neidhart prototype, so just put that out.
yeah, that's possible.
I mean, I bought it. I mean, also Jim Neidhart, like, I want my figure money.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I bought it, so
Speaking of Owen Hart shows off a lot of his cruiserweight moves in this match. The crowd loves him, by the way. He's doing things. There's people I've heard people say like Owen Hart was boring. They didn't like him until he died, and I'm like, but if you watch these
those
old
who are these
matches,
evil people you're talking to on Owen Hart?
no, I've
Jesus.
heard that said. Like, then I never cared about Owen until he died and shit like that. And I'm like, you know what? Though, if you he was very innovative. He was doing moves that like nobody
You
else
saw
is
it at
doing.
WrestleMania 5.
Yeah, nobody else is doing this shit. Like the fucking like springboarding off the top rope on it, like sitting down springboarding off the top rope and shit. Like that was fucking interesting.
Yeah.
Um. Anyway, the crowd loves it. But the basically the pointers match is the Orient Express. They're getting the heat on Owen Hart. Gorilla Monsoon. He compares the Orient Express to the Midnight Express, but I think he's talking about the train and the movie. But I think that was like a inside wink, wink.
Vince probably is like, I'm
Midnight
gonna
Express.
beat you to death when you come back there. How dare you?
Yeah, I'll bring back the Midnight Express. Anyway, the Midnight Express. There's a cool spot where they fucking throw Owen Hart into the corner, but Mr. Fuji like hung up his cane in the corner. So when Owen hits it, he fucking snaps it in half, and it makes a loud noise. Crowd gasps for that. Ultimately, the Anvil makes a hot tag. He cleans house, and then he hits a rocket launcher by throwing Owen from the top rope to Pat Tanaka for the win. This was a good match, good showcase, but this could have been like 10 minutes shorter. It was too long.
Yeah, I thought it was probably like the best work rate of the show before the Rumble. But again, the outfits look stupid, and calling it the new foundation so soon, it just seemed to me like as a kid, like you don't know what to do with Jim Neidhart. I would have been down for a
Or
Jim
Owen
Neidhart.
Hart.
Yeah, I would have been down for a Jim Neidhart singles push back then when I was younger. You didn't need to put him. I mean, it just made you think like you don't see anything in this guy. You're just putting him like in a lesser version of the tag team. Um,
It,
but
it
having
was nice seeing the Orient Express back. I like those
I
guys.
think that's it after a while. But that's it. But
I think they're right.
yeah, you know what? It was all right. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's not the oh, trust me, there's plenty we're gonna see that's gonna be the worst. All right. Lord Alfred Hayes, he recaps the entire intercontinental title scene. Basically, what happened was there was a house show, and the Mountie had shocked Bret Hart previously, and he gave him a 104-degree fever. And Bret Hart still, put his title on
Bret
the
Hart
line.
actually was, I think, injured or something.
I read that they were doing contract disputes.
That too, I think. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So what
Apparently,
happened?
apparently, he wanted to go to WCW with the belt, which no one ever talks about. WCW offered him money to show up with the IC belt.
Really?
Yeah, and he was considering it, which nobody talks about. Which don't you think that would play a factor in Vince's mind in 1997?
Yeah, that's true. And I think
Like you were already like that. No one, everyone, oh, poor Brett, poor Brett. No one talks about, well, Brett, like you were gonna do this in 1992. Why would I assume you're not gonna do it in 1997?
the problem is that documentary, Wrestling with Shadows,
Yeah.
right? Where he specifically says he'll drop it to anybody else. So he was giving them an option to, I will drop this title.
Yeah, but Vince wanted Sean.
Vince wanted Sean, but you know what? Like Brett also had creative control. You should have
Yeah.
never put that in the contract then. You know?
Well, you know what? We got plenty. We got years to get to that, so
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
have that debate when we get there.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite the debate. Anyways, going back to this recap, the Mountie he beats Brett for the Intercontinental title on January 17th. So this is actually 2 days right before the Rumble at a house show. The Mountie wins it. You're not gonna see something like this happen nowadays, but
Well, I think it should. I think it
I
should.
think it should. It was more common back then, but when stuff like that happened, you know what it did? It made house shows seem like you had to
Exactly.
go.
I think if you kick off, I think they'll do this. I don't know when, but I think they will one day do this again. I think if you kick off Raw with Seth Rollins lost the belt last night to Damian Priest at a house show, he cashed in. I think the house show business would then go through the roof for
I think you're right.
because
I think you're right.
it hit the house show business. Then it affects it for like at least a year or two. You have like this
Yeah,
big,
no,
like a big
absolutely,
damn
dude.
business.
I don't know why they stopped doing this actually,
I
right?
think I think they will. They did do it a few years ago. AJ Styles won the IC belt from somebody.
Did they really?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
did a few years ago at the Madison Square Garden show. I think he beat Kevin Owens or someone for the IC or the US belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in this case, the Mountie beat Bret Hart for the title 2 days before the Royal Rumble, and Sean Mooney he's in the back and he's interviewing the Mountie and Jimmy Hart, and Mountie gives a basic heel promo. Then Mean Gene Okerlund, he is with Roddy Piper, and Roddy Piper cuts a promo that only he can do. It's all over the place. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He is so all over the place, Roddy Piper.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, it's gonna what?
The Coke kicked in.
Yeah, yeah, the co kicked in. Match number two, it is for the Intercontinental title. The champion is Mountie with Jimmy Hart versus Roddy Piper. Back and forth in the beginning, but ultimately Piper puts the sleeper on the Mountie for a quick 5-minute victory. Afterwards, Piper gets the shock stick and he starts shocking the Mountie. Uh, tell me your thoughts about this.
I liked it as a kid. I liked it, and I like it still. It's nice that Piper got a title run. You know, I feel bad for a lot of these guys. I forget. I think it was Jake the Snake. Was like it was like I never got a run with the world title, and then the host of his podcast goes, "Well, Bruce Pritchard said you didn't need it," and he goes, my wallet needed it," and it's like that's such a back compliment to say to someone you didn't need the belt. Like we remember the champions, like, the champions are celebrated, and it's nice that Piper got the hold of a belt because he never really gets a belt his whole career. So it's nice that he got a little title run. I think he deserved it for all the work he did.
I I can understand both Robert's point, and I agree. Saying that like, oh, well, he didn't need it is kind of a cop out, but I also know that like not everybody should,
No, I
you
know,
know.
but I feel like Piper. It's nice that Piper got like 2 months with the belt.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm glad Piper definitely got an icy belt. I think it would have been nicer if he had a little bit longer run,
Yeah.
but
But
and
just the fact that like he had that moment where he gets to hold the belt over his head.
yeah, that's
I
kind of
feel
nice.
like there's so many legends that didn't get that in WWF. And I get it. Like that, you're right. Not everybody needs that moment, but like I think, if Hacksaw Jim Duggan says to you, looks you in the eyes, oh, I don't care that I didn't hold up the world title, he's lying. He's lying. He probably would have started crying. If he walked in at work in 1992 and like, we're gonna have you beat Ric Flair for the belt, probably would have broke down like crying hysterically. They
Yeah,
all
yeah.
want the belts. Yeah.
No, of course. Hey, you know what? Everybody wants to be the world's famous comedian. It's not going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I will say this, though. This match this was a pretty shitty pay per view match. Let's
Well,
be
yeah,
honest. This was a
yeah.
shitty pay per view.
This match, yeah, but hey, who cares? I also blame the Mountie because when he's in the Rumble, Piper is like he like tries when Flair's in the ring. He like really like gives a shit.
I don't think that this can be all squarely blamed on Mountie because
I'm not blaming
Mountie,
Mountie, but I think Piper doesn't try when if
yeah,
someone's
that's exactly
that
what I'm
Piper
saying. Like,
respects, he tries.
Mountie has been proven that he's actually not a bad wrestler because when he's
Yeah,
Joe's, it's fine. It's just like I don't think Piper respected him to fucking
yeah,
sell. And that's
exactly.
really shitty on Piper's point, you know?
Well,
It's kind of shitty because this is back in the days when like wrestlers were like, "This guy is beneath me." Like they would say shit
well, I
like that.
think the Mountie was supposed to get the belt. The Mountie was supposed to just if Bret Hart had played ball, it would have been Bret Hart just beating this guy in like 15, 20 minutes, however long they want. So
Yeah.
so
Well, anyways, I'm glad he got this moment, but it is not anything anybody needs to watch, and I'm being dead serious
yeah.
about it. Alfred
Well, I think if
Hayes
you're a Piper fan, watch it. I mean, this is only title win.
doesn't he win a title in WCW?
Yeah, but like at that point, it's that's a joke that he won.
Yeah, he's older, much older. Yeah, this if you want to see Piper win one major title, I guess this would be it.
And this is when the IC belt meant a lot. Like it meant a lot.
Yeah, this is back when. You know what? I will say this though. They really rehabilitated that title this past 2 years.
Yes, they did. Now, when someone beats Gunther, it's going to be a big deal. Yes.
It's going to be a huge deal when
And who's doing a good job with the US belt, making it seem like a big deal is Logan Paul.
he just got it, so I'm on
Well,
the like.
he cut a good promo about how special it is to him on Friday.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that promo, but it's also too new, so I'm gonna give him some time before
But I
I.
like the fact that these celebrities, like if you give a belt to a celebrity, he's treating it like what an honor it is to have this belt. He's not like whatever. Bomb
Yeah,
up,
I'm glad
bomb
you're doing
energy
it that
drink.
way.
He's putting over the belt, which is good.
By the way, I feel like any title you can rehabilitate if you just do the right thing,
Yeah. You
And
just
I
have the guy who has it act like it's such an honor to have it.
or just like yeah, hold it up in such a way like what they're doing with Gunter is
Yeah.
so fucking good for that title, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know who's gonna beat him. I really don't know.
I would do what they did with Warrior. I would have him beat Seth or CM Punk for the world title, and then just have him drop the IC belt, and you have a tournament for it.
Maybe. I mean, that's not a bad idea either. That's not a bad idea either.
If Warrior didn't need to lose the IC belt to get to the world title. He just gave it up. Who cares,
All right, so getting back to the Royal Rumble, Alfred Hayes, he's in Hulk Hogan's locker room, and he says like, "Hey, Hulk Hogan says, the Rumble, I have no friends, but I'm gonna get my belt back and all this shit." And
Awful Alfred,
they,
what's up?
yeah, then they cut to Mean Gene Okerlund, who's with the Bushwhackers and this guy named Jameson,
He's
who
a New York stand-up comic, by the way.
is he a New York stand-up comic?
I mean, not anymore, but he was then. Yes.
Oh, he was then. Okay, I don't
Vince McMahon
recall.
so you want to know how he got hired?
Yeah, tell us.
Vince saw him at a comedy show or like an improv show and liked him so much, he said, "You're hired. I'll figure out what to do with you later."
Wow.
Vince, he was just doing either stand up or improv, and he was just done with his set. And Vince goes, and I think he did this character on stage. And Vince goes, "I want to hire you for the WWF." He goes, "Well, what am I don't know how to wrestle?" He goes, "You don't need to wrestle. We'll figure something out, but I want you on the show."
That's kind of like how he hired Todd Pettengill. He just heard him on the radio one day, and then he
And the
called
same
his
thing with
secretary and
Oscar.
was like, "Call this guy, get him an interview. I want him to work for me." You
So
know?
Oscar saw Vince in a hotel lobby at WrestleMania 9 and rapped to him. And then Vince goes, "I might have an idea for you." And then he tracked down Oscar and hired him to be the manager and went on a mission.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, there's an even better story. Seth Rollins actually back in 2004 ran into Vince at a deli and pulled out his dick, and Vince was
You
like,
want to play
"You're
with it?
hired."
Did you hear, by the way, there's rumors that Seth banged Kerry Silkin in ROH?
Terry Silkin is gay, I think.
Yeah, the rumor is, somebody told me there's a rumor that he pulled Tommy Rich on Kerry Silkin. I think when he blew, he went, "Oh."
I think Terry Silkin is gay though.
No, he is. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
Seth blew. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that for a fact, because then I'm saying allegedly he blew him or fucked him in the ass. He did something.
Yeah, I guess I have no idea. I don't know.
I mean, I have no idea either. I wasn't there. It was not like Seth Rollins called me up. "Hey, guess what I did?"
There's a picture of his Johnson on fucking internet if you look for it.
I don't need to look for it.
You remember we took pictures of his dick and then it got leaked?
Yeah. Let's get back to classy things like
Yeah,
James.
let's talk about Jameson. I don't recall Jameson at all. Like he's not in
Really?
my memory banks at all.
Oh,
I don't
he was
remember.
on. He was all over Primetime Wrestling.
Yeah, I don't remember him at
He
all.
was like their Beetle. He was like their Whack Pack guy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, speaking of Whack Pack, he is with the Whackers, Bushwhackers, and they cut a promo on the Beverly Brothers. And we're gonna go to match number 3. The Beverly Brothers with the Genius versus the Bushwhackers and Jameson. And this match takes forever to just begin.
Oh, this was horrible.
It just takes forever. The Bushwhackers, like, they just take forever to start the match. They just like go from side to side, do the ropes, doing their Bushwhacker thing, and it just takes forever. This match stinks, and Bobby the Brain Heenan, he starts ragging on the Bushwhackers the whole way through because he's a heel and they're the good guys. And then there's this part where Gorilla Monsoon says, "You're just mad because you're retired. You retired as a manager and you can't manage the Bushwhackers." That actually, you could tell like that made Bobby Heenan laugh because he was like, "What? What did you say?" Oh, that was the highlight of this whole match. This match stinks. There's a point where Genius slaps Jameson in the face, and Jameson's like, "He hit it me. He hit it me hard."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Beverly Brothers hit a double axe handle for on one of the Bushwhackers for the win. Afterwards, the Bushwhackers beat on the Beverly Brothers and they grab Genius and they ask Jameson to hit him, but Jameson can't do it. He just kicks him in the shin. I gave this match -4 stars.
This match was pretty bad. I will say this though, the crowd was really into the Bushwhackers still. The Bushwhackers at this point have had 3 years of shitty matches or 4. The crowd does not give a fuck. You got to give these guys credit. These guys continuously have horrible matches and they're still over.
They're over before the bell rings and then after the bell rings. In between, they are not over.
Yeah, but
This
it's like,
match, nobody gives a fuck in this match. They only like when they come down to the ring, and then they like it when they win at the end and they do that
you
stupid
do
shit.
you think because the Bret Hart thing fell apart? I'm thinking the reason why some of these matches went so long is that they had Bret Hart and Mountie scheduled for like 20 minutes, and then when that fell apart, Roddy Piper's like, "I'll give you 5 fucking minutes," and they were like, "All right," and they were like to the Bushwhackers and to LOD, "Can you just go longer?" And the Bushwhackers like, "What the fuck are we gonna do? We don't do anything." So like they just like stalled.
I mean, that's possible because I was
Yeah,
like,
because all these
why
matches
the
are so
fuck?
long.
There's 3 tag team matches and they're all kind of long. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why the fuck are all 3 of these tag matches so fucking long?
Yeah,
And oh yeah, they're
I
awful.
think most of the undercard was supposed to be the Bret Hart match, and then that fell apart. Like he
Yeah,
was supposed to have like a long classic.
yeah. They should have fucking paid him, brother. What can I say?
You can do.
All right. So after this match, Mean Gene Oakland, he's with the Legion of Doom, who cuts a promo on the Natural Disasters, and it's going to lead to match number 4, another tag team match. This time it's for the tag team titles. The Natural Disasters with Jimmy Hart versus the Legion of Doom, who are the tag champions. It starts off okay because this is a match of like big fucking beefy guys. So it's big men on big men, but it ends in a fucking count out where Typhoon comes in and he wins, but everyone else gets counted out. And the fucking Natural Disasters, they hold up the titles like they won when even a 10-year-old Andrew Lee knew you don't fucking win belts on a count out. They're like the only buffoons who don't fucking know this. The fucking Legion of Doom beat up with chairs for being so fucking stupid afterwards. And then after this match, Sean Moody's doing an interview and fucking Disasters and Jimmy Hart, they fucking barge in and they complain like, "Oh, you should have got the belt. You saw what happened." Like, I gave this -15 stars for insulting my intelligence. This was stupid. This was really bad.
Dude, have you like how like we were rewatching or watching a lot of these shows the first time? We're like, wow, Lex Luger is really good. Like, wow, he's so good, right?
Yeah.
Have you? I've had the reverse effect with the Legion of Doom. I'm like, these guys were terrible. These guys were just not good.
They're good wrestlers, but like they're in a lot of bad matches. Like this match, it was interesting in the beginning until this shit ending that just came out of nowhere.
Just
And this is
like
like one of those things where we've criticized WCW for this. if you don't know who do you want to fucking win, then don't book this fucking match.
Well, I
And they
think
should have never booked this match.
well, I think they wanted this feud to go to WrestleMania, and then you know what annoyed me too is like they lose. Well, this is not they. So they lose the and they never had any footage of it. They lose the tag titles to Money Inc. on a house show, and they just announced it. And I think it was because of Hawk's drug problems or something. They just
Yeah.
announced it so you don't see them. Like, why would the Legion of Doom lose to these guys and to lose to IRS? And I don't know. Like the whole run at the end really annoyed me. I get it. Like Hawk was, I think Hawk just vanishes after SummerSlam '92. Like he literally just
You're like,
vanished.
I know. Yeah, he's got major drug problems at this point, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think
like I don't
he was
know.
like, I mean, I totally get it that at that point, if the guy's like
I just
super unreliable and he's like fucked up,
but
you
then just
got
have the just have natural disasters win the belts here.
yeah, they should have just done that. I know that's what I'm saying. If you're not gonna be sure, if you can't pull the trigger on a pay per view like this, then don't fucking do it. Then don't even have the match. It's just like a waste. Put them in
Yeah.
the Royal Rumble for God's sakes, and then you could pull out two people from the Royal Rumble like Tito Santana, and you could have had a match for the same amount of time, and it would have been
You know, it's like, no, I want to, no, please, Arriba. I want to be in the main event, please, Arriba. All
anyway, yeah,
right,
this was
so
at this point.
that's the lame version of the show. Then what?
Yeah, at this point, I hate this pay per view. Like, I'm not enjoying it at all.
Okay.
But then we're gonna get to the cream of the crop. Before that, though, we gotta still go through some more bullshit. Mean Gene Okerlund, he is with the new Intercontinental Champion, Roddy Piper, who's somehow been able to do more coke after his match. He just goes on his tirade. He fucking talks about George Bush falling down, and it somehow leads to him quoting Martin Luther King for some reason. And like, I have to look this up. I think Martin Luther King's birthday was a day after the Royal Rumble or something like that. But the way Piper does his promo, it's like you gotta like reference it before just like before just dropping the "I have a dream" quote. Like it's just so fucking bad. It's like he goes, "You know, the president fell down. I'm not gonna fall down like the president because I have a dream." And it's like, what are you like? This is a complete like the way he's talking. It sounds like someone who's done a lot of coke because that's how their mind goes.
Yeah,
It's rapid
exactly.
fire. It's terrible. It's terrible promo.
You just you ever since 1989, you have not liked Roddy Piper.
Dude, I like him in some points, and I'm gonna like him in the Rumble, but I want to
Oh,
call
he's
it.
great.
I'm calling it down the middle. If you suck, if
Well,
you're, I don't care if you're Bret Hart. If Bret Hart does something stupid, I will call him out.
well, you're not going to see much of Piper after 8. So
Okay, yeah. Well, this was a really bad promo. All I'm saying. After that shitty promo, we have Sean Mooney who's in the locker room, and he's like, "Well, things are fucking tense back here." And the fucking Barbarian walks by, and just bumps him. I love that. You don't get stuff like that anymore. That's all he does. He just walks by and bumps him, and he's like, "Oh, shit's tense in here." And then he goes right up to Shawn Michaels, and he starts talking to Shawn Michaels about what happened. They recap the infamous barbershop Marty Jannetty to the window segment. And Shawn Michaels cuts a really nice promo, the heel promo, really. Here he goes like, I just saved Marty from 29 beatings. Okay, you know, like I was like, that was I thought that was like, oh, that was good fucking. You know
that's
what?
pretty.
Like, I don't like Shawn Michaels. I'm not an HBK fan, but I will admit this like whole persona change and like even this little short heel promo, it like perfectly gave like an example to the audience of what this guy is now, you know? And I thought that was good. Good little interview. I'm gonna move right along.
Yeah, yeah, keep going.
Mike Alfred Hayes, he's with Ric Flair. And Ric Flair, he actually says in this promo that he did draw number 3. I don't
Yeah,
know if this was a
this
mistake or
wasn't on the
not.
pay per view. Apparently, this interview. This is only on the Coliseum video and the Peacock and the DVD version.
Ah, okay, yeah. So at the original pay-per-view, they never showed this part, huh?
Yeah, I think it wanted to be a big surprise that he got 3. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because when he does come out of the Rumble, the commentators do act surprised.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
This was
But
only on
yeah,
the DVD.
in this one, yeah, but here he says he's draw number 3, but then he says He doesn't matter. He's gonna win the title, and that's the bottom line. Because Ric
because
Flair
Stone
said
Cold said
so.
so.
Yeah, he said it first. That's the bottom
Um,
line.
yeah, I think like because everyone knows when you get the VHS tape, everyone already kind of knew what happened. They put that promo in. That promo would have just ruined the show because it's supposed to be like, oh shit, I'm not gonna win now. I'm number three, but I'm gonna try. For him to be like, I'm still gonna win. Because back then, like nobody. Remember, Gorilla Monsoon keeps saying nobody's ever made it this far.
Yeah, and that's true though. Nobody at this time had made it this
So
far.
so if on the show he's like, I'll just win, kind of takes away from
I
him.
think if anything, they went to this well one too many times. I think too many people since this time has won with number drawing number one or number fucking
I
like
think that
didn't
yeah,
Ray do it and didn't like Chris Benoit? It's just too many times. Too many people have done
well, I'll tell you when they fucked up when they had Shawn Michaels do it only like a few years later, and to me, because I wasn't watching at that time, but when I heard about, it, I'm like, oh, they're just ripping off Ric Flair, like they're
it. Yeah.
trying to make the new Ric Flair by doing that.
Did they ever have like a number 30 win? Now number 30 should win. That makes more sense.
I think Cody was number 30 this year.
Was he?
I think Brock was 30 2 years ago. I,
Oh, that would
when
be
did
interesting
when
if
did
that was
number
true.
30? Let's see,
Yeah,
number.
Cody did come in at 30 and he won. Okay. All right, never
What
mind
about
that.
what about Brock? Wasn't Brock 30?
What year was that when he won?
2002.
2002?
Two. Oh yeah. So 30 has won 2007, 2008, 2016, 2022, and 2023. I meant 2022. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I was wrong. Let me forget about
Oh
that.
yeah. So five times.
I have the memory of a fucking fly.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Uh,
Triple H was number 30 in 2016. I
all
forgot
right,
about
fine. You know what they should do? They should have a number two. Someone should come in as number two, and then
that. That happened in 1999 and 2006.
all right. You know what? Someone should come in as number four and win. Come in as number four. I want to see that.
I know it's never happened.
Yeah.
Three has only won once. You said this, they've done this too many times. Three has only won once in 1992. That's it.
Mm.
One has won three times: 95,
That's what I'm
2000.
saying. I don't like people coming in at an early number and winning. I'm saying that just
Yeah,
happens sometimes. Yeah. But
yeah. Well,
before we get to the Rumble, comes one of my favorite parts.
the 1 through 3 have only won six times. So
Okay. All right.
yeah,
That's fair. Yeah.
the later numbers have won way more. So
All right. That's more realistic. That's more.
all right, yeah. So and then 5 and 8 are the earliest numbers, and then what's after 8? 19 and 18. Yeah, so yeah, and then 13 1 and 88, but I don't count that because it's only 20. So you can't really count that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's like 23. But yeah, mainly if it's not 1 through 3, it's in the late. It's in the 20s. So
Someone should just come in at right in the middle, 15.
yeah, someone should come in 15 and win. That hasn't happened yet.
Yes.
That should happen this year. CM Punk should be 15 and then win.
Would you ever want to see a Rumble where somebody's in there and he's just eliminating people as soon as they come in? And he's just constantly standing in the ring by himself.
Yeah, that was Brock Lesnar in 2020.
How do I not remember that?
But you're like giving all these ideas, and I'm like, oh, that happened. That happened. That happened.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, I don't remember that at
You're
all.
like, I think a guy should win 3 times. I'm like, yeah, that's Steve Austin. I think Vince McMahon should win it. Yeah, that happened in '99.
Yeah. I don't remember some of this stuff. I don't know. Anyways,
yeah, Brock Lesnar really did that for 2020. Most of them.
Simpsons did it.
Mm-hmm.
So as I was mentioning, before we get to the Rumble, comes one of my favorite parts of the show. It is where Mean Gene Okerlund introduces us to all the other pre-recorded promos. And I love these because it really shows you all the different personalities that they had in their company. Okay. This is what made this era of like WWF so good, is because not everybody was a huge star, but not everybody was gonna be. You can't have
everybody was a certain character.
Yes, everybody was a certain character, and that's what I loved about it. First, we get Macho Man, and Macho Man's wearing the Royal Rumble colors, and he gives a promo only that he can give. Then we give Sid Justice giving a promo, and it's very intense. The camera zooms in right on his face, and it slowly zooms out, and he shows how intense he is. The Repo Man gives like a sneaky criminal promo. The Bulldog gives a very British promo, constantly talking about Royal Albert Hall and all this British shit. Jake Roberts gives a Jake Roberts promo. Mr. Perfect with Ric Flair, they do their promo. Paul Bear with the Undertaker, a very fucking like scary promo, and then Hulk Hogan in a way too fucking long promo. I liked it though. I liked all of these. They were great.
So this show, I feel like this show is like where Hulk Hogan becomes like WCW Hulk Hogan. Like it's not he's no longer cool as of this show.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. And you know what? Like, you're not gonna have all 30 guys cut like a promo, but you
Get
get a
enough.
select group of people who got a good beat on what their character is, right?
Yeah.
And you guys are gonna do the promos, and it's gonna make it look like everybody in this company has a different character. You know,
Yeah.
like if I was doing this again at the Royal Rumble, I would be like Ricochet, you're not giving a promo. You know, I would be like,
I would
but you
let
know
his
who?
girl I would let his girlfriend cut the promo.
Yeah, I'd be like, but you know who is? I would Seth Rollins, you're getting to cut a promo. Randy Orton, you're getting to cut a promo.
You know, Punk.
Cody, you're getting to cut a promo. CM Punk, you're getting to cut a promo. Like, you just need like 8 guys. You know,
Yeah.
Dominic, you get to cut a promo. You know, and shit like that. You know. Um, anyway, we're gonna go right into our main event, the 5th match. It is the Royal Rumble match. Before this match begins, Howard Finkel introduces Jack Tunney, who's got the WF title. And I like that Jack Tunney, when they introduced him, he gets booed. That was great. This is fantastic. Explain what's going on. Why is the WWF title on the line at this Royal Rumble?
Because Jack Tunney got knocked out during the Undertaker Hogan match, and then Hogan used the urns. Everybody's cheating, and then in the Undertaker Hogan match at Survivor Series, they cheated, and Ric Flair interfered. So now it's like, you know what? No one's the champ. We're holding it up because of all the cheating and all like the craziness. That's basically it.
I think that's fair. I think up to this point, we've been seeing Hogan cheat a lot
Well,
in
Undertaker
multiple
cheated,
matches.
Hogan cheated, Ric Flair cheated twice. He can't. He and Jack Tunney got hurt. So Jack Tunney was in that match to make sure nobody fucked around. And then he gets knocked out, and then Hogan fucked around. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the very logical reason why the belt is vacant and up for grabs here.
Yeah.
So this is a very special Rumble where the title is on the line. The first one out is British Bulldog, and the second one out is Ted DiBiase with a beautiful, sensational Sherry.
That was a beautiful
And
Bobby Eaton. I was like, Jesus, he was
yeah,
there.
beautiful Bobby Eaton as well. And Bulldog takes out Ted DiBiase almost right away, even before number 3 comes out. I think it's a sure sign that DiBiase is on his way out of the
Well,
main
he on
event.
his way to becoming a tag team guy.
Yeah. Flair comes out third, and as he's walking by, he walks by DiBiase. And if you look very carefully, DiBiase says something to Flair as they're passing by, and Flair just like no sells it. He's got the fucking eye of the tiger. Like he's just looking right at the fucking
I feel like
money.
it was something like a warning about British Bulldog. Like
Yeah,
he
it
hit.
was really quick. It was something like it
It was
said like
like
maybe 3 words, maybe like
maybe it was like because I could see like maybe the Bulldog was like being extra stiff. He probably was like, "Hey, this guy's stiff tonight" or something.
I don't know if it was that because I know that maybe it was, but I don't think it
It
was.
felt like an instruction. It felt like a quick instruction that he was told to tell Flair.
Yeah, I think he was going like maybe like your dick's out. I don't know,
Like, I
but
got some hookers in the back when you're done.
yeah, yeah, it was. I would love it if they ever talk about this. Like, hey, what did you say to Ric Flair? That really quick. Maybe he was like, it was nothing. I just say hi, and I'm like, oh, it's a letdown. But who knows? But
I mean,
anyways,
even a high's good. I mean, they are supposed to be co-heels, so it could like, hey,
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you ever, I read DiBiase's book,
mhm.
or I read somewhere before he went to WBF, they used to be buddies. They used to like,
Well,
you
you know
know,
what I like in WWF is that the heels were all friends. When you're a heel, you're friends with other heels. I hate now in modern WWF the heels also don't like each other. I'm like, that's fucking stupid.
um,
I like that they all sit around and plot against the good guys. They're like sitting around being like, we're so evil. Let's go hang out and be evil.
do they all hate each other though nowadays?
Every now and then they'll have like a heel cut a promo on a heel, like, yeah, I don't like you. Like,
Yeah, Yeah,
Like
I
Judgment Day and the
do like
Bloodline
it.
should be like buddies. Like whenever Paul Heyman brings up to the Judgment Day, they should work together. They always like. "Ugh." I would be like, yeah, yeah, that's great. I love that idea. But,
I like. We know what I do like is that the Judgment Day is kind of bringing all the faces together. I like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like because it's like a group of like it's like a ragtag bunch of good guys right now, right? It's like
yeah,
Sami Zayn and fucking Jay Uso and Cody and Seth, and it's like a weird like ragtag group of guys, and I kind of like that. So
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. Oh, tonight was a good episode of Raw. By the way, it was like all good. It was like an episode of Collision or Dynamite pretending to be Raw. It was like only like two promos.
oh, a lot of matches, good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it. So anyways, after Ric Flair walks past DiBiase and get that word of advice, he goes up and Bulldog starts beating the shit out of Ric Flair. So it's not really good advice. But don't worry. Don't worry. Jerry Sags comes in fourth, and Sags and Flaherty start double teaming Davy Boy. But Davy Boy comes back. He makes a comeback, and he eliminates Sags for second elimination. But then out comes Haku, fifth. And then he starts attacking Davy Boy Smith. And then he starts attacking Ric Flair. So they're showing that the heels, just because they're
Bobby
back.
Heenan gets so pissed at him.
Yeah, I like that though. I like that Haku just started attacking both
Yeah,
guys.
no, that was good. That was good.
Yeah. But Davy Boy Smith takes out Haku for the third elimination. Out six is Shawn Michaels, and he also attacks both Davy Boy and Ric Flair. Tito
Mhm.
Santana comes out seventh, Barbarian at eight. Texas Tornado comes out ninth to a really good pop. And
And then him and Flair start going at it like it's world class in the '80s.
oh, Flair gives this guy so much. He gives Texas Tornado the first flop of the night, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And right after that, Shawn Michaels flops for Texas Tornado as well for that tornado punch. It was almost like he was going like, I can top that flop. So
Yeah.
everybody, both guys are really trying their best. Like Tornado is over. He's really popular,
No, but it's
and
getting towards the end of his run. I think his problems are getting worse. Yeah.
yeah, his problems. It's too bad because he was really popular. Um, Repo Man comes out 10th. Greg the Hammer Valentine wearing Hulk Hogan's colors comes out 11th. This guy is like, I looked this up. Why was he wearing Hulk Hogan's colors? Like, why was he blatantly ripping off his colors?
Because he's Greg the Hammer.
Oh, even his trunks, they like hammer on it, and it's like,
Right.
yeah, it's just like, it looks like
But
Hogan.
that was another. So Greg Valentine and Ric Flair had a big feud in the '70s. So it was nice to see them fight again. I didn't see much of the feud. I heard the feud is great. And when Greg Valentine hits the figure four on Ric Flair, it's like all of these are like these callbacks to
Hmm.
stuff that didn't happen in WWF happening in this match. Well, it was like really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. When Hammer puts the figure four on Ric Flair in the middle of the ring, it does get a really nice pop. Like it's not like
Yeah,
crowd doesn't know what's going on. They know what's going on, and they fucking go crazy for it.
yeah,
Nikolai Volkov comes in 12th, and he gets eliminated pretty much right away by the Repo Man.
yeah. Well, Volkov was a substitute. He hadn't been there in a year and a half. He just showed up for this match.
Yeah.
But he gets
Boss
booed,
Man.
even though the last time we saw him was he was a good guy. They boo him.
Yeah. Boss Man comes in 13th to a huge pop as well. He's really,
Yeah,
really popular. And he goes crazy. He starts beating on everybody. While he's doing that, the Repo Man dumps out Greg the Hammer Valentine fifth. So Repo Man, back-to-back eliminations. Good for him. But then Repo Man, he gets too full of himself and he turns his attention to the Boss Man, which is a huge mistake because Boss Man just grabs him and dumps him right out. So Repo Man is out six. At this point, Ric Flair, he back body drops Davy Boy Smith out seven to some boos because Davy Boy Smith was a huge favorite. He came in like first
yeah. He was
and he
over.
stayed this long, but he's out. And as soon as he's out, Ric Flair back body drops Texas Tornado out as well. While this
Jesus.
is happening, Tito Santana and Shawn Michaels, they're hustling and they eliminate each other ninth and 10th, setting up basically their feud, I guess, coming up for the WrestleMania match. But that was a cool little elimination. Hercules, he comes in 14th. And while this is happening, um, Flair tries to double cross the Barbarian, but then the Barbarian just starts beating the shit out. And as Barbarian tries to eliminate Ric Flair. Hercules dumps the Barbarian out, 11. And then right after that, it's followed by the Boss Man dumping out Hercules. And Flair thinks that both men went over the top rope and he just fucking gets in the ring and he's like, yes. But then he turns around to a standing fucking boss man who's shaking his finger. No, no, no. And the crowd is going crazy for this because, we just saw like 2 eliminations in a row and it's one on one in the ring. Boss man and Rick versus Ric Flair. Boss man launches himself, but then Ric Flair ducks and fucking basically Boss man sends himself out the ring for the 13th elimination. Ric Flair is all alone now in the ring. And he
Yeah,
does
that whole sequence was so great with everybody
that
eliminated.
sequence was great, and the crowd super fired up. But then when he's alone, he does like a flare flop by himself, which is really kind of dumb. It was really
Well, I think this
stupid.
was me. I'm so tired. I can't even stand up.
That I know that's what he was going for, but it's really dumb. It's dumb, and it got like not. It didn't get a reaction from the crowd.
But I also think Bobby Heen's putting it over. Like you rest. You have 7 seconds. Just rest until the next guy comes out. Bobby Heenan does a great job of like narrating this whole match.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And while Flair is alone, Piper runs down for 15th, and the crowd goes nuts as Piper just starts taking it to Ric Flair. To Ric Flair's credit, this has always been Ric Flair's strong point. He makes his opponents look great.
When he
The
sees
look,
because the look he
go
gives
ahead.
Piper because they've been feuding for months
Yeah,
now. It's like,
yeah.
oh no, this fucking guy, anyone but him.
Just the look on his face, like when Piper starts running down, it's like he's like, I'm so tired. This is where Ric Flair excels, and he just lets Piper go to town on it, and it's great. Crowd's going nuts, but they're just going nuts. They're so amped up, and Piper hits the sleeper on Ric Flair while Jake Roberts comes in 16th. And Jake, Piper is like weary, but Jake Roberts like he sits in the corner and goes, no, 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 do your thing, do your thing.
Yeah, that was
So
so great.
Piper, yeah, that was so good. And Piper turns his back on him, which you should never do, Jake Roberts. And then fucking Jake Roberts starts attacking him from behind, but he also starts attacking Ric Flair. And so these three guys are just kind of like hitting each other. I thought this was a great moment where it's like Roberts hits Piper, Piper hits Flair, Flair hits Roberts, Roberts like they're just all hitting each other. It's short lived, but for the moment, it is really really dope. Duggan comes out 17th to a huge pop himself. Then IRS comes in 18th, and he comes out to lots of boos. He was over as a bad guy.
Okay, for now,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. But this crowd, to be honest, they're so into this Rumble at this point that they're
It's
like
an All
reacting to
Star Rumble.
everything.
It's an
Yeah, it is an
All-Star
all-star Rumble. You're absolutely right. They're going crazy for each person. They're reacting to every single person that comes out.
Rumble.
IRS and Ric Flair, they both grab Piper's legs, and they're going for a wishbone, and fucking Flair misses it for some reason. And I was like, dude, like everyone could tell that's the move you're supposed to do. Why do you see just stand there and hold the leg? I'm like, come on, dude. Jimmy Snuka is 19th. Undertaker comes in 20th. And then Taker takes out Snuka with one fucking hit. Boom. He just goes flying over the
The
rope.
streak continues.
Yeah. That was badass. When he did that, when he hits Snuka with one hit, he just goes flying. Oh, man.
That was cool.
And then Taker goes after Ric Flair, which was fucking cool. I was like, holy shit, he's going after Ric Flair. Macho Man comes out 21st. And he's like running to the ring, and Jake Roberts, like the whole time where Jake Roberts is in the match, every time the countdown starts, he's like looking to see if like Macho Man's coming. And the commentators do mention it. They're like, every time the fucking countdown starts, like Jake Roberts, he's paranoid.
Such a little thing that's so good.
Yeah, and because you know what, they got their own storyline going, and they're like, I'm in this rumble, but I'm still gonna do the storyline. So
Yeah, I
as soon
want to
as
win the belt, but I don't want some Savage to kill me. Yeah.
exactly. So as soon as Macho Man comes out, like Robert slides out the ring and he hides. Like he just like slides out the ring and he hides. It's fucking great. And fucking Macho Man gets in and he doesn't know where Robert says. So the Undertaker starts beating him up. But ultimately, Macho Man does gets his hands on Jake Roberts and he fucking throws him out for the 15th elimination. But then he himself jumps over the top ropes
Yeah.
onto the floor. He technically eliminates himself. I'm guessing like because he's so angry, he doesn't care what he did.
Yeah, but they had Bobby Heenan make a big point, and I think he wasn't supposed to jump over the top rope like that. That you can't eliminate yourself like that. You notice that?
I
Because he
don't
gets
think
back.
it's true in the later rumbles because I think like
It's not. Yeah, I don't think it's. Yeah,
I
it's not
think
true.
like Cactus Jack eliminates himself like this one.
Yes, but I think that he wasn't supposed to do that. And nowadays they would have just said you have to go to the back because he really doesn't do much after that, right? But
Oh, he does something. Yeah, I mean,
I guess Vince. I'm like, I know I still want him in the ring. Bobby Heenan just say that you don't eliminate yourself. You can't eliminate yourself. Someone has to throw you.
I bet you Junior was like, this fucking idiot just eliminated himself. Like, I bet you
Yeah,
he was in the back going like, this fucking idiot just eliminated himself. Like,
yeah,
but anyway, the funniest part is like, I think Taker knows Macho Man needs to be in this ring, so
yeah,
he constantly grabs him and he
yeah.
throws him back. He rolls him back into the ring. Macho Man rolls back out to go after Roberts, and Taker like grabs him again. He's just like puts him back in the
You have
ring.
to be in the ring. Yeah, we have more
Yeah,
spots.
it's
Yeah.
so funny how Taker has to be in this character where he can't talk. He's supposed to be a zombie, and he's trying to shove Macho Man back in the ring.
I think it
But
would. I think it would have been better if they just said Savage eliminated himself, and it's like, wow, he hates Roberts so much he doesn't even care about this match. He just wants to kill Roberts.
yeah,
I think it would have
but
been better. And but like, especially when he did it to himself, I just wouldn't roll with it. But I guess that they had a plan. They didn't want to. They didn't want to not stick to it.
yeah, they didn't want to stick to it, so they
I mean,
wanted
they
to
wanted
stick
to
to
stick to
it.
their original
Yeah, they
plan. They
wanted
didn't
to
want
stick
to.
to it. Thank God for Undertaker, who's
Yeah. And
fucking
also,
professional and just pushing
you
him
know
into
what?
the
You
ring.
can just make up your rules as you go. Who cares? You're like, it's
Yeah.
like
So yeah, so Macho Man's still he's back in the Rumble, and after this, for all of Taker's work, for all his troubles, Ric Flair low blows him, but Taker no sells it. I like that he no sold the low blow. That shit was funny to
yeah, yeah,
me.
yeah.
Berserker comes in the 22nd. Virgil comes in 23rd. Colonel Mustafa, who used to be called the Iron Sheik, he comes in 24th,
Mhm.
and he is taking a very long time to get to the ring. So Gorilla Monsoon says, by the time he gets there, another guy's going to be out here. And then flash forward to 2001 at WrestleMania 17 at the Gimmick Battle Royal. Bobby Heenan, when Iron Sheik is coming out, says, by the time Iron Sheik gets to the ring, it'll be WrestleMania 38. I thought that was kind of cute how
Yeah.
both these guys make that reference to
People had this idea that Iron Sheik should have made his entrance at 38 to finish the joke. I think they should have done that.
yeah, they should have.
Well,
They
38,
should
but
have.
Iron Sheik just has an entrance.
But was he like just too old or something? He just
I
can't
think so.
walk.
I mean, he dies a year later. It's probably the family. We don't want people to see him like this.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's probably the right
I
move.
feel like if he had, because his nephews like were loving to get money out of him. I feel like if he could like at least be in a wheelchair and like talk to people, they would have wheeled him out and done the joke.
Yeah, they probably would have, but it would have been really sad to see it. Like, you know?
I mean, yeah, but he was in a wheelchair for like 10 years. So
Yeah. All right. Rick the Model Martel, he comes in 25th. Now remember, the previous Royal Rumble, he had the record. He was in there for like 50 minutes or something like that.
mhm.
Not so much this time. Macho Man, he dumps out Colonel Mustafa for the 16th elimination. Then Hulk Hogan comes out 26th, and he fucking takes out Undertaker for the 17th elimination.
Yeah, that's right.
Hogan
That's right. That's what
really,
you get. You get for
Hogan
Survivor
really does
Series.
not like Taker. Yeah, he don't like Taker. I can see why Taker would not like Hogan in the later years.
Well, I think Hogan was like, "You're King Kong Bundy. You're one man gang. I beat you a bunch of times, and you go away like everybody else." And I don't think Hogan thought Taker was going to last for 30 fucking years.
That's
Main
true. He
event
probably
WrestleMania fucking 36, but he did. So,
yeah. Then Hulk Hogan eliminates Berserker, and then he rips his shirt. And then Virgil and Jim Duggan take each other out for the 19th and 20th elimination. We saw Shawn Michaels and Tito Santana do this as well, and they're going to have a WrestleMania match. Was this Virgil Jim Duggan thing supposed to lead to something?
I don't
Oh,
think so. They're in an 8-man tag where they team up at the next pay-per-views.
mm. Skinner comes in 27th and Sergeant Slaughter comes in 28th. Rick the Model Martel dumps Skinner right out for the 21st elimination. Then Sid comes out at 29th to a big pop.
Big pop.
Yeah. And then Warlord comes out at 30th to no reaction at all.
No, no, wait.
As Hogan and Ric Flair start fighting on the
You
outside.
know what I think ruined the Warlord for everyone? Harvey Whippleman.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Warlord should have just come out by himself.
I know, but they back then everybody had to have a manager, and they just brought in Harvey Whippleman.
All the bad guys had to come out with a manager.
Yeah. That's why Ric Flair has Mr. Perfect with him.
Yeah. Sid whips Sergeant Slaughter into the corner, and he does that Sergeant Slaughter bump, and he goes outside the ring.
That was a good bump from Slaughter.
That was a very good bump.
That was.
Yeah.
I did not expect
that's like a trademark Sergeant Slaughter bump.
I know, but like I was like, wow, this guy fucking moved in this match. He didn't move like that the last year we've been watching him. So
yeah, but he even does that bump even in the later years. If you watch like him like return on Raw and shit, he'll take this bump.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, I guess we'll see. We still got a few more matches with him throughout the years.
Sergeant Slaughter, like that's like one of the few moves that he could actually do. You know, like that was like that's a classic bump. Yeah, but it looks great. It looks fantastic.
Great. He did it. No, this one it stood out to me. Like I was like, wow.
Actually, you know what made this one stick out is because he took that corner bump and then he like launched himself over the top rope and just straight to the ground. He does not do it like that later on because that's fucking dangerous as hell, you know?
No, I know. But I feel like I feel like so many people, when they saw the work that Flair was doing, because I'm sure they were watching on the monitor waiting for their cue, was like, I feel like everyone stepped up their work rate in this Rumble.
Yeah, I think when they were like, yo, did you see Flair miss that wishbone spot? Yeah, man, we gotta. You see when he just flopped by himself? No, to be fair, Flair is doing a great job in this match.
Flair's doing an amazing job. Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think people are watching and they're like, yeah, let's all bring our A game, guys. You know? And I think also the crowd is super hot. Like this is like there's that point in where there's that like triple elimination in a row where fucking the Barbarian gets eliminated and fucking Hercules gets eliminated, and then it's like Flair and Bossman. Right from that moment, it feels like the energy, the electricity in the crowd doesn't go away. It just stays.
I think also people when Flair throws Bossman out, I think people are catching on what's gonna happen at the end. And they started like, fuck, this guy might go through everyone.
Yeah, because at that point, it's like the midway point. Piper comes in 15th. We're already half the Rumble is already gone at this point. Yes. So yeah, I think that's probably what it is. It's already turning out to be fantastic. Piper, after Sergeant Slaughter gets taken out, Piper takes out IRS by the tie. I like it. He grabbed him by the tie.
That was cool.
Yeah, for the 23rd elimination. And you know what's really funny is because they do mention this early on the commentator. Somebody goes, how come nobody uses that tie against it? And sure enough, Piper, that's his undoing for the IRS. Sid and Hogan, they work together and they take out the Warlord for the 24th elimination. This was a good moment too, because Warlord is massive. He's humongous. And these two guys are like, well, let's work together to eliminate this big fucking dude. So I like that. Sid takes out both Roddy Piper and Rick Martel for the 25th and 26th elimination as those two were trying to eliminate each other. Sid takes them out. So we got our final four. We got Hogan, who's working on Ric Flair on one side of the ring, and you got Sid working on Macho Man the other side of the ring. These are the final four. Good final four, yes.
Good final four. Anyone could be champion. And they all
eventually. And if you actually think about this final four, these are like the two big matches of the next WrestleMania, just opponents switched up.
Yeah.
Right? Sid has Macho Man dangling on the ropes. Ric Flair runs up and knees Sid from behind to give Sid that extra push to dump the Macho Man out for the 27th elimination. Now we're down to 3 men. As Hogan just starts working on Flair, Sid just watches. Kind of reminiscent of Jake Roberts watching Roddy Piper work over Ric Flair. And right at the right moment, Sid dumps Hogan out for the 28th elimination as Ric Flair fucking lays on the apron and crawls back into the ring. Hogan's fucking He's fucking upset. He's just like, what the fuck? I just been betrayed. And him and Sid start arguing. Hogan on the floor arguing at Sid, and Sid like arguing to the ring. And as Sid turns to leave, Hogan grabs Sid by the arm and he starts yanking on Sid like a fucking sore loser. And
Yeah.
Sid's like dangling on the ropes, and Ric Flair takes his moment to dump Sid from behind to win not just the Royal Rumble, but the WBF World Title. Afterwards, Hogan and Sid, they get back into the ring and they start squaring off. All the officials are there trying to break it up. Hogan starts trying to do his pose. And in the beginning, they cheer, but then they start booing Hogan. And Hogan starts looking around like, what the hell? And then the crowd starts chanting for Sid. And they even cheer him a little bit. And when this fucking like pull apart ends, you really want to see Sid versus Hogan. Because like I
Yeah.
really wanted to see it. I was like, these two, this looks like the fucking money match right here. Thoughts on this Rumble?
Uh, Fantastic match.
Mhm.
I kind of feel like Hogan, I don't know why they went with that finish because unless Bruce Pritchard claims that they were never going to turn Hulk Hogan heel. Vince didn't want to have the conversation, right?
Yeah.
But it almost feels like the start of a heel turn for Hogan when the way
Yes.
he holds onto that arm. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. I don't know why. I don't know. It just like I don't know. It was very weird. It was a very weird thing to do. But other than that, it's a great match. I mean, again, this is the moment. I feel like this match is the moment where Hogan kind of becomes uncool to the majority of the audience.
I for the longest time I used to think like, why did they do Hogan Sid instead of Hogan Flair at WrestleMania? And when I watched this uh, ending, I was like, you know what? To be fair, at the end of this, I really wanted to see Hogan Sid. You
Yeah, no,
know?
they did a good job of and then they announced Hogan Flair, and then they switched it to Hogan Sid, and they always act like I think it was always the plan to do Hogan Sid. I don't think they were gonna do Hogan Flair. You know, I
Yeah, I
don't
mean
know.
the way they set it up here, it looked like it was always supposed to be Hogan Sid. You know?
Yeah, because why would you do this whole setup and then go right to Hogan Flair?
Yeah,
What was Sid supposed to do? Fucking wrestle the Rocket Owen Hart? Like,
yeah. And Sid was over, dude. I mean, I always, like I said, I've always been I was a big fan of Sid. I like Sid,
Yeah. It was
and
it, this, but this is a great match and a great win. And I like that. When I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, I feel bad Ric Flair to get to hold the title up in for the crowd. But I think honestly, him being in the back played more to his strengths because he cuts one of the best promos he's ever cut.
yes. So after this match, Mean Gene Oakland, he is with Ric Flair, Mr. Perfect, and Bobby Heenan. Everybody's happy. He's also with Jack Tunney, who presents the WF World Title to Ric Flair, and Ric Flair cuts his very famous "With a Tear in My Eye" promo.
The greatest moment in history of my life.
Yeah, it's a great promo.
Mhm.
He says this is the greatest moments of his life. Bobby Heenan and Mr. Perfect, they both chime in as well. And then this part, I forget this part happens. Mean Gene Okerlund
Oh yeah,
yells
that's
at
a
someone
joke.
to put out a cigarette.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that was like, did he just really just do that? Like, that wasn't planned or anything, right? Like, it was like somebody
That
was
was
smoking.
just an improv thing.
Yeah, somebody was smoking. He was just like, put that cigarette out. And at the end, I forget that this part is just as good as that with a tear in my eye. At the end, Flair calls out everybody. He goes,
The Hogan,
Hogan,
the Pipers, the Savages.
Piper, Macho Man, Sid, you all pay homage to the man. And I was like, God damn. God
Yeah.
damn. Yeah, that was very good. That's a very good line.
You
And
know, I think Ric Flair's at his best when he thinks people have counted him out. When
yes,
people make it clear they've given up on him, that's when he then becomes the fucking man. Because in '89, when people were kind of bored of NWA, he fucking has the best matches of his career. Then when 2 years later Jim Hurt is like, get the fuck out of here, he goes and has this rumble and cuts this promo. He every time you count him out is when he comes back and is like, oh yeah, watch this. And then he proceeds to have like the best match on the show.
that's why they shouldn't have cut that promo he did on Rampage, bro. I bet you that was a great promo.
Did they cut it completely?
I don't know. I didn't watch it, but I think I heard they did.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like, so, but it's proven times, nobody thought he could deliver at WrestleMania 18, and then him and Undertaker have a great match. 24, they're like, he has a great match. Um, there's a couple of moments in the WCW. He's the replacement for Sid when Sid gets fired for attacking Arn, and at Starrcade '93, and he has a great match. Whenever, like, it seems like we don't really believe in you, but go have this match, and even in Starrcade '83, no one thought he was going to get the belt Starrcade '83. They thought he was kind of already done. In '83, people thought he was done, and he goes and has like the best decade of his life. So it's almost like it's better for you not to believe in Ric Flair because he'll fucking, oh, you don't believe in me? Okay, watch. He feeds off that.
Yeah, I would say this was, if you were a wrestling fan, you need to watch the 1992 Royal Rumble. Not the full show,
Match.
just the Royal Rumble. And you got to watch the promo at the end. I would
It's
assume
such like
if you're listening to this, you've probably already seen it. But if you haven't, you really need to watch it as a wrestling fan. It's
it's
a
such a
must
good,
watch.
watching this guy wrestle in WCW all the years, because now we're almost at a 1 year anniversary of this podcast. Watching him wrestle these matches in WCW, he's killing himself, but then they kind of fuck the match with having shitty finishes or shitty
Hmm.
booking. Watching all this, and when you consider that everyone thought he was Mr. NWA, Mr. WCW, and then he gets this moment in WWF. I think this is the moment. This promo and this Royal Rumble is the moment where he solidified himself as one of the goats, and maybe at the time the goat. You know,
Yeah, I can see that. At the
because
time,
it's
he
like
probably was the go. Yeah, because
this is the moment.
he's showing. You know what? There are some guys when they're in the NWA, WCW, they're the shit. But when they go over to WWF, they're garbage, right? I'm here to prove to you that I'm the man anywhere I go.
Where
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if the show's
anywhere
for
I
kids.
go. Yeah,
I'm always
and
going to be the man.
exactly. And it's like that's a great fucking feather in his cap. 100% go back and watch this match if you guys have never seen
Yeah, really good match, and
it.
yeah, really fun.
Don't
So
watch
let's
the rest of the show though; it stinks.
okay. So the next 4 weeks, you want to talk about stinking? Next week, LPWA Super Ladies Showdown. That'll be next week. 2 weeks from now, Super Bowl II, Sting versus Lex Luger. 3 weeks from now, we're gonna do WrestleMania 8 with Sid versus Hulk Hogan, and then 4 weeks from now, Wrestle War '92, the Dangerous Alliance versus Sting Squadron in War Games. What are you looking forward to?
Um, I I don't know. What are you looking forward to?
I've heard this is the best War Games match of all time, and perhaps the best WCW match of all time. Dangerous Alliance versus Sting Squadron. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, okay. I don't really like war games at all.
I
I don't
know, I
like
know,
the
but
war
everyone
games.
says this is by far the best one.
Okay, so I am okay to be pleasantly surprised. I am looking at this fucking women's thing right
Yeah.
now, and they've got some Joshis in there, so I'll be willing to give this a little go. I'll give
Three
give
hours
it,
this thing.
yeah. I have very low standards for. I have very low expectations, I should say, for this match for this pay per view. So I have a feeling because I have low expectations, this might be good.
It,
You
it
know,
has to be, listen, it has to be on the Starcade 91. Can't be
yeah.
worse than Starcade 91. I don't
You
care
know
what
when you
happens.
have like low expectations for something,
Yeah.
and then it turns out, yeah, because it's so low, it ends up not being as bad as you think it's.
Guys, that's the show. Please subscribe to us. We have the Patreon, $5, you get the video version. We're gonna announce another podcast soon. Not today because my voice is going. TikTok, Ray Goots Comedy, Instagram, Ray Goots and Andrew Lee, Andrew Son of Lee. So we'll see you next
Yeah.
week for LPWA.
See you guys.